Hey, it's Glenys here. Coming to you from Horse Chats, which is a podcast where we have industry experts and also from International Horse College. So if you're looking at working within the horse industry and you're looking at a career and you're looking at qualifications, go to internationalhorsecollege.com and just have a look around at the courses, the wide variety of courses. Now today we're going to talk about de-stressing during competitions and assessments. Okay, so I think when you think about getting nervous and getting worried about competitions and assessments, you've got to be realistic about it and say, what's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, so maybe the worst thing that can happen is you come last to the competition or you fail to do your assessment. Okay, so if you're in that position, then you've got to worry about your preparation and your training at home. So think about your training at home. If you're going into a certain level of dressage test, then start training, at 2 levels above, so your horse is really comfortable with the movements. And if your horse isn't comfortable with the movements 2 levels above, training at home where everything's in a relaxed environment, then they're going to be stressed when they go to a competition and you're putting pressure on them and asking them to do something that they're just not 100% confident with. Same thing with your jumping. If you're jumping whatever height it is, it should be higher at home. It shouldn't be that the horse has got the stress of the competition and the stress of the height and different jumps as well. It should be, okay, they've got the stress of the competition, but these jumps are pretty easy, yep, I can get over them. Okay, so that sort of de-stresses a little bit. To do with your horse, I think you've got to keep training the level above, but also to do with yourself. Keep thinking about what's the worst thing that can happen to you, okay? Now, you can't go out and blame everyone. You could blame the judges, you could blame the assessors, you could blame the other competitors, you could blame the weather, you could blame the arena, the travel conditions, you could blame lots of other things, but the other competitors most of the time have got other stresses as well, the other assessors. The assessors and the judges are just there to say, the judges are to say, right, who's the best in the class today, not yesterday, not based on previous history, anything like that, but who's the best today. The assessors are saying, are you at the level today? And that's all they have to do is just say, today, on the day, how are you going? Okay. Now, the other thing is too, that think of it as just being feedback. If you come last in the class, well, that's feedback saying you may not be ready for this class. You may have to go home, train a little harder, or nominate for a competition that's a little bit lower. If you do not pass your assessment or found not yet competent, it may be that you just need to go back and train more at home, okay? Now, I know I'm saying, look, it's feedback, and you're probably saying, but it's so expensive. Well, if it's expensive to the point that it's putting pressure on you, I think you've got to think of a different business plan, so that you're not being stressed by the expensive. And yes, it is expensive. You start talking about lawyers or plumbers or any trained professional that is qualified, that has had many, many years of experience. Of course they're expensive. There's other expenses as well. People might have to come in from overseas, they might have travel, accommodation. So of course it's expensive. And if you want to make the best out of your buck, for competitions, train above the level, do all the preparation we talked about, and also for assessments, look at the criteria, make sure you've gone through the assessment, make sure that you know what the assessment is, but also too, you might get a friend or a peer or someone else to say, okay, I'll go through this criteria with you, and they go through the criteria and they say, look, you probably could have done this better, how did you show this? So all that preparation, if you're not quite sure how to do it, there's lots of education online. You could go to International Horse College or just even listen to some of the experts that we have on Horse Chats, and they'll give you a little bit of showmanship and what you need to do within assessments and within your competitions. So hopefully that all helps, and hopefully now you'll be a little bit less stressed at competitions and at assessments. And I think the main thing is if you can get rid of some of the stress that you have, then you're getting rid of some of the stress that your horse has. So make sure you go out, you do your best, and just keep your horse, keep that communication open with your horse, so then the horse is able to learn from the experience, and then each time your horse goes out, they go out and they improve and they relax in the surroundings because they know that you're not going to be stressed. Okay, this is Glenys Cox signing off from Horse Chats and from International Horse College, and make sure you go out and enjoy your next competition. Thanks, bye.